A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our Homeopathy 247 podcast. We are going to be speaking to an array of international guests who will share their knowledge and experiences of homeopathy with you. We will discuss all types of subjects such as remedies, symptoms, and stories of health. No matter where you are with your homeopathic journey, we aim to inspire you on your quest to natural health and living. The podcast is brought to you by Greensmith, the founder of Homeopathy 247, which is a global platform connecting you with a homeopath wherever you are in the world, 24 hours a day. So let's get started with today's chat. Please welcome Mary Greensmith.
Hello everybody, it's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm really pleased to be able to welcome Nour Azem. Nour is one of our homeopaths from Homeopathy 247. It's lovely to see you, Nour.
Hi Mary, thank you for having me.
It's lovely that you can join us today, and I'm really excited because you're going to talk to us about your journey through homeopathy and your experience working with Ainsworth in London.
That is right. We're talking about Ainsworth today.
And it's really nice to be able to do that because we know we're so lucky in the UK. We've got two brilliant homeopathic pharmacies. Helios, a lot of people know about Helios Remedies, and perhaps not so many people around the world know about Ainsworth. And Ainsworth is so important. My first experiences with homeopathy were through Ainsworth, and you've got a lot of experience actually being on the ground with the pharmacy. So tell us a little bit about working there.
You know, Mary, same for me. Ainsworth was one of the first pharmacies that I visited. When I needed homeopathic remedies, I lived around the corner from Ainsworths Pharmacy, and on my daily walks, I would just pass by it and never had really the chance or didn't really know what a pharmacy it was. But then, you know, it just looked fascinating to me. It was always busy, always lots of people going in and out of Ainsworth. And it was just after I became interested in homeopathy that I saw a homeopath and actually had a prescription to get some homeopathic remedies. I went to Ainsworth, and you know, the energy of the pharmacy was great. People were helpful, and the boxes that were in the pharmacy were also a great sight. And that was my first visit. You know, and I had an idea back in my mind that just, you know, came to me, and thinking that, wow, I would love to be part of this team. But back then, when I visited the pharmacy, I wasn't a homeopath yet.
Okay.
So fast forward, and we're not going to go into details on how I went into homeopathy, as you know, it will take too much time of this session today. Perhaps we can discuss that later in another podcast. But after graduating, and I was eager to start practicing homeopathy, and I went on and started my online practice. And I also rented a room in Marylebone area. I had a good start, and then just after a few years of practicing, I felt lonely.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, you know, what next?
Yes.
Suddenly remembered, well, Ainsworth. Why not perhaps join the team? I sent them an email inquiring if they needed a homeopath. And they replied back, asking me for an interview, went for the interview, got the job, and started working with the team very shortly after the interview. That was how I actually ended up in Ainsworth.
Okay, that's brilliant. And were you actually working with people coming into the shop to buy remedies, or were you making remedies, or was it a mix?
It was a mix. It is a very busy day at Ainsworth. Some of us see people on the shop floor. We advise them regarding remedies. Some of us, are on the calling or advice line, also advising people on what homeopathic remedies they could potentially take to help them with their symptoms. And some of us would actually prepare the remedies for patients. We get prescriptions from doctors as well. So it is a very busy day. I have tried really to do all of the above, and it was a great experience.
Okay. And so, gosh, it's so much going on, isn't it? So actually, as well as being a pharmacy and making up the remedies, there's actually a front shop as well where people walk in off the street. And of course, there at Ainsworth, they must have so many thousands of remedies.
They do. They have thousands of remedies. I don't remember exactly how many they have. Of course, they get new remedies every other week, maybe. And it's what I found really fascinating is, after years of training in homeopathy, I still sometimes would hear of a remedy for the first time.
Yes.
Someone would come in or would call and ask us for a specific remedy that I had never heard of. I would go to the materia, medica. These are the books where they're the books we go back to find out actually about remedies and read in depth about them. And so I would go back to the books, read about the remedies, discuss it with the colleagues. So it was always a great chance for me to learn something new.
It's just been encompassed by homeopathy, isn't it, from all angles? Just an amazing experience for you. And of course, Tony Pinkus is such a character, isn't he? And he's done so much for homeopathy in making new remedies, and he was very much part of the COVID experiments and making the remedies that we used all over the world to help with COVID and the vaccines as well. He's just there in the forefront of it all.
Well, what is really great about being in Ainsworth is having Tony around. He's great, he's passionate, he is knowledgeable. Every now and then he would personally come into the pharmacy and spend the whole day. We would hear all sorts of stories, and it was like a mini teaching sessions every time he was in. We would have so many questions for him, all prepared, and of course he's always there and ready for to update remedies, to research new remedies as well, and see what we can do to help people further. So it's a blessing to have him in the homeopathic community.
Yes, yeah, he's such a great character. And an interesting story that my first experience with homeopathy was with Ainsworth, when I had a little small holding and cows with ringworm, and I had a book about small holding and keeping cows and things. And it mentioned homeopathy. I had never heard of it, but it had Ainsworth's telephone number. And in those days, we didn't have internet or anything else. And so you just rang up and spoke to somebody and said, can you send me a vial of this for ringworm? And oh, I might as well have that for sheep as well while I'm at it. And it was just absolutely phenomenal. And a little tiny vial came, and I said, well, that's not going to do 30 cows, is it? And it just was amazing. It was such an amazing experience. And it was just written in a book that I had bought. And that was my introduction to homeopathy. And then, of course, that changes your whole life, doesn't it? It changes everything.
It does. It does. I mean, it's always great to meet so many people that come in to the pharmacy, where I thought, when I started that I will be the one, helping people. But actually, I have learned so much from the people that came in,
Yeah.
their experiences with certain remedies that I thought, why would they use such a remedy to treat, such a thing? But with homeopathy, lots of our knowledge is actually from experimenting. So it was great to actually constantly learn from not only my colleagues and not only from books, and it was also learning from the people themselves coming in.
Absolutely. And that's what is so brilliant about homeopathy, isn't it? And I know that most homeopaths have got a large range of books on their shelves. And if their books have been passed down, you open them up, and most of the books have got little notes there where they've added their own remedy suggestions and things from hearing, because that is, of course, what the repertory is, and the materia medica. It's just people's experiences. And we're always learning. We're just never going to stop learning, are we?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, in Ainsworth, there's never a dull moment, that's for sure. There's always learning. There's always something to observe. I mean, what's great about being in such a place is being in touch with people constantly. And I would give you an example. Sometimes in, let's say, late winter season, early spring, and because of the pollen and how pollen actually starts is, of course, depending on the temperature.
Yes.
So it can start late, it can start early sometimes. And like last summer, it started really early, really, really early. And we had many people come in confusing their allergies with sinus infections or a flu.
Yes,
And because we observe patterns, and because we see so many people, we quickly realize, okay, it's actually a pollen allergy starting early. So therefore, we would start actually advising people very early on that maybe it's a good idea to start on some of the homeopathic remedies for a pollen allergy.
Yes, of course, because it would be a completely different remedy, wouldn't it?
That's right.
So just having that knowledge of the different people ringing up and coming in means that you have got much more experience of what's happening.
Correct. And then we start actually also preparing certain mixes, adding to previous mixes, because as we know, homeopathy is very individualized, and we try to really observe the symptoms, the let's say most common symptoms that we see in every season, and therefore we pick the right remedies that will go with these symptoms. So it's always, there's no proper routine. There's always something new, always something to discuss. So it's brilliant, always fun.
It sounds like a lovely experience. You mentioned earlier about doctors sending in prescriptions. Tell us a little bit more about that, because we know that homeopathy isn't that huge in the UK. So it's lovely to hear that you've got doctors on board and writing out prescriptions for people. And also, I expect at Ainsworth, you've got vets doing that as well.
Yes, that's correct. Well, because Ainsworth is in Marylebone, it is very close to Harley Street, which is, the street where lots of doctors are located there, and therefore lots of their the pharmacy's clients or people who know about Ainsworth are in the area. Lots of the doctors nearby send their prescriptions to Ainsworth, and that's another thing that I used to love seeing and reading, because each doctor has a different method of prescribing. That's something else to add to knowledge, to learn different methods. And that's also, different remedies, different potencies. Potencies are the strength of all the homeopathic remedies. So that was something also great to experience. Yes, lots of vets as well. Well, Tony is very busy.
Yes.
Most of the days where he comes in, speaking to different practitioners and lots of vets and even farmers that need advice on what remedy to have for their animals. So it's really great to be in touch with so many different people and different practitioners from the medical world as well.
I didn't think of that before. But you're so right in that actually seeing other doctors and other homeopaths' prescription is really going to widen your horizons with how you could be prescribing homeopathy yourself. And of course, most of us as homeopaths don't have that experience because we don't actually see other homeopaths and their prescriptions. We might find out a little bit about, yes, this remedy works for this, or this, happened for this, but actually seeing how the dosing and the potency and how that is, that must be really fascinating.
I mean, we all get to a point after working for some time there in the pharmacy, we get to a point where just by looking at the prescription without even seeing who sent it, you'd really know who it was, because there's a special method for each one that they follow, which is a funny thing.
Yes, absolutely. That's amazing. So did you ever have any experiences with any celebrities or anybody coming in that was really interesting, finding out that they were using homeopathy?
Lots and lots of celebrity come to Ainsworth, call Ainsworth. Me not being actually born in this country, not really following lots of the shows or movies, so I don't really know many of the celebrities here. However, whenever some of them come in, I can sense from my colleagues, that it is someone famous.
Yes.
But perhaps one of the highlights is one day I went into work to see actually the homeopathic kit that has been sent to Ainsworth, and to be replaced and to be just updated, and it was the Queen's homeopathic kit. Which was great to see. She has a huge collection of remedies, and as you know, she's keen to use homeopathy, and so is also lots of the other members of the royal family, like the current king as well, and the Queen Mother.
Yes, it's been going on for generations, hasn't it? And of course, at the moment, King Charles is the president of the Homeopathic Society, is it the association? So how fantastic is that, to know that you're just getting to know that so many different people from all fields know about Ainsworth, are using Ainsworth, and of course his kits are so well known for having so many great remedies in there.
That's right. The kits are amazing. They have two kits, which are, the number one kits, I would say, the selection of remedies in these kits are really top. I never really travel without a homeopathic kit with me. They're so handy. They're great for new mothers as well.
Yes.
I mean, the kit has saved me so many times when my daughter would feel something, always, of course, over the weekend.
Yes.
When everything is closed and, you don't have many clinics open and so on. So the kit has been a savior.
Brilliant. Just tell me, because I know that Ainsworth has got a high street, position. Did you find ever that people would come in that didn't actually know it was a homeopathic pharmacy and know that you only did homeopathy?
Absolutely, yes. I would say probably, maybe if not every day, every other day, we'd have people pass by. Either, they're intrigued to come in and ask, what the pharmacy is, or with, people thinking that it is a regular pharmacy with Western, medicine. And they would come in asking for, let's say, antihistamine, let's say.
Yes.
And I would say, sorry, we're a homeopathic pharmacy. And some of them would, of course, leave and go to somewhere where they can find what they need. But lots of other people would say, well, do you have anything else that can help? I would ask them for their symptoms and gather a bit more information, suggest a remedy. They'll go away with the remedy, come back after a few days or a few weeks saying it was brilliant, what a discovery. And then they'll come back with more requests or other family members. So it was always great when these people came in, by mistake, but then ended up actually asking about homeopathy and using it, trying it, and also, even better and better when it really works for them. Of course, I have to say I have nothing against, Western medicine. We're, really thankful to have it. But it's also nice to see that around Ainsworth there are many regular pharmacies as well that they all work together, and whenever they see the potential for homeopathy to help someone that they feel that maybe they're limited with what they can offer, then they send these people to Ainsworth and vice versa, So it's great to see these two communities actually working together, helping each other. And I think, this is what we all need, really, because there's a need for both.
Yes, that's absolutely amazing, and just so brilliant that you've seen that happen. So we know that it can happen. And of course, homeopathy is a complementary medicine. It can be used alongside mainstream medicine, and there's nothing actually, it just works in a completely different way. It is brilliant to use that way. So just before, it's been just so lovely just chatting with you about Ainsworth, Nour. But as you said earlier, you're not from the UK, and I believe that you have just set up a new group, a group for homeopathy in Arabic. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, that's right. So I am Syrian. I speak Arabic, and I see many patients online who live in the Middle East. And the numbers of people interested are growing. And we do a lot of work online on lots of the platforms out there. And we've just launched a page, for homeopathy in Arabic. Because it's just the need is there for it, and people want to understand what homeopathy is. And I mean, you always say that our role really is to go out and tell people what it is, just educate as much as we can, just give them a choice
Yes.
that they can use whenever they feel okay, they're stuck, or just a complementary type of medicine that is so many times really needed. So we started just a few days ago, and really looking forward to growing this page slowly, and the potential is huge, and we could see already the numbers growing every hour.
I think it's going to be very popular, Nour. I think it's just such a good idea, because I have had quite a few clients from the Middle East, and all of them just loved homeopathy, and this was their only opportunity to have that choice. So well done you. We will put a link underneath about you, so people can come and find you, and also about your new group as well, because that's lovely that you can offer this in different languages. So brilliant. Fantastic to be able to talk to you about homeopathy. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. And I look forward to doing this again, and we'll learn more about how you came into homeopathy in the first place.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you very much, Mary. And take care.
Thank you, Nour, for coming in today and sharing your experiences with Ainsworth. It's such a fantastic opportunity for any homeopath to be working in a team that is actually in the coal face, as it were, making the remedies, preparing them, sending them out to clients, and dealing with doctors, general public, everybody talking about buying remedies. So next week, I will be having a session about just introducing you to using homeopathy at home, and to how to start, how to begin your learning, because once you get on this journey, it's very easy to carry on learning and learning. But what we want to discuss really is how to jump in there and get started. What is it that you need to know first, and how do you begin? So look forward to seeing you next week, and have a great week. I do hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I do hope you can subscribe to our channels. Now, there are various ways for you to listen to our podcast or watch it on video on YouTube. So whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, please do subscribe, and please do leave us a review. If you leave us a review on these platforms, then more people will see our podcast. We just want more people to share the joy of homeopathy. It's a choice that everybody should know about. Please do everything you can to help us help more people.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and look forward to listening to our next one. Please don't forget to follow our podcast on your chosen channel, and please do leave us a review so we can continue to share homeopathy with as many people as possible. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us on any of our social platforms mentioned in the show notes. We at Homeopathy247 hope to empower you on your natural health journey.